Yes, it's BB. I'm back already. So soon. Anyway, Piro and conference report. The hard problem. Consciousness. Ew, who wants to have to explain exactly how it works? We really shouldn't have to explain exactly how it works. We really shouldn't. It really shouldn't be important to anybody. We know where it came from. We know there's this thing called evolution. We know in the process of that evolution there was an organism somewhere in our past, and it went ouch. And that over millions of years of modifying a molecule, it built on that ouch. It found a way to use this idea of ouchness, and it created a way to manipulate the organism through this ouchness. A little tiny bit of ouchness all the time, maybe, and then you relieve it, and then call that a reward. So it's like nature straps you into the torture device, okay? And then it just, when you're born screaming, remember that. But, full of crap, too. It's just disgusting when you're born. Poop and placentas, all kinds of shit flying out. Horrible, horrible, horrible. Anyway. Right? So this is the game it plays. This is the computer. This is how the computer is functioning. Is that there's this device, and it's got nails in you. And then nature says, I want you to reproduce. Okay? So I'll pull the nails out if you stick your willy in her hoo-hoo. Alright? I'll pull some nails out if you do that. I'll pull all the nails out for about 4.5 seconds, and then I'll start slowly pushing them back in again. But you'll barely notice. And then if you do something dumb, like stupid, I'll drive some deeper, longer nails into you, because I know how to hurt you now. And so it's basically just a game it's playing. We could play the game. If we had a victim to play with, we could play the game. All right? If we attach a little electrode to a mouse, we could play the exact same game. Give it a little bit of comfort, zap it with a punishment. We could play that carrot and stick game. So we know where we came from. We know where all this animated crap is. It's all on top of something called pain and pleasure. It's all on top of comfort, discomfort. That's what it's built out of. There's nothing else it's built out of. That's what it's built out of. It doesn't need any. We don't need any dark energy explanations. We don't need any quantum explanations. Alright, so which video to get to first? Yeah, hard to think of it. What order they should come in. So anyway, Piro's arguing the hard problem. He's saying it's this old style argument that why are we conscious? I mean, why are we like subjectively aware of our awareness? Why are we actually feeling? Why doesn't the program just synthetically create this positive and negative? Well, that's sort of the problem, isn't it? I mean, how exactly do you do that synthetically? How do I make a computer feel an ouch? I mean, that would be a real advantage if I could make my computer say ouch when a piece of virusware gets into it or something. If it could go ouch, well then maybe I could make the computer protect itself. I could motivate it because it doesn't want to do the ouch thing. And it could sneak up on the spammers at night and bash their brains in with a sledgehammer for us and do us all a great big favor. The computers could fight back, and it could be a nice little list of dead hackers the next day. We really ought to just capture them and put them in a device that slowly drives nails into their fucking brains, Fred. Not into, something else. Alright, we know where we are. The metaphor, the brain, is merely a car engine. Again, your metaphor breaks down right there, right? Because our brain is intimately connected. It isn't just an engine, it's a steering wheel, it's a gas pedal, it's brakes, it's all kinds of instrumentation that's tied to it. And then for the car to function at all, there's got to be a human being with a fucking brain in it. Again, fail, sorry. I mean, you just keep running away from the truth here. Can't we just say the fucking truth? It's 3 pounds of crap. Okay, yes, we have sense organs that reach out, but we know you can cut all of those off. Okay, there's people right now in the hospital that are just sitting there. They're just a brain. That's all they are. And they're trapped in there. And they're just as them as they were before they got trapped in there. They were just the same person is still saying, get me the fuck out of here. Because it's trapped now. It's glued to a bed. It can't move. That's what it's experiencing. Okay, it's as conscious can be. We know where the kernel of this thing resides, and it resides in that goo. That's you. You are in the goo, all right? You're not over there. You're not inside there. You're not playing this stupid I can move my consciousness out into the environment and pretend I'm that bug over there walking across the table. No, you're not. That's an imagination. That's a little game your brain is capable of playing. But it's not real. So again, get back to this illusion of sensation. Alright, so I can make 2 arguments to this hard problem thing. I should just play a little bit of the Fred video just to verify he's being silly.
I'll say it again. You know, I don't think it makes sense to say that I am my brain. I know people do say that, and I can kind of see where they're coming from. I know Nick, Modern Mystic, used to say that. He's not on Udable anymore. But I don't think it makes sense to say that I am my brain. It doesn't make sense at all. I think it's a category error. It's a little bit like saying that, for me at least anyway, it feels a bit like saying that the motion of a car is the engine. No, the engine gives rise to it. And I start again.
Yeah, did your brain do that or not? You know, what do we blame for that failure? So again, now he's going to get caught up in the motion, and we know what records the motion of our lives. We know where the impacts are being made, the registers that are changed as we motion through our lives. This conscious experience I'm having is being filtered by my brain, and many bits of it, not beknownst to me, my brain is recording parts of it that I'm not even recognizing. I'm not being focally made aware of in the conscious state. And in the subconscious state, there is information being gathered. And there's being a recording made, okay, for space reasons. I would imagine that recording is little, icon-y kind of things. Resolution is reduced. But that's what's happening right now. My brain is recording the substance of that adventure. Alright, so you have no car metaphor for that kind of experience, where the car remembers what happened to it 10 years ago, and it doesn't turn left because it knows left is a dead end. So it's just not an applicable metaphor for this controlling device that is our brain. Jeez, it's just so annoying. You're just clouding the air. Just create this fog. Just play this game. Let's ignore. I mean, there's just really no point in saying I believe in determinism, sort of, kind of, and I accept biological truth of evolution. That we came from animals. Okay, that we came from a single fucking microbe. Yeah, I'll accept that truth, but I'm going to completely ignore it and talk a bunch of bibble-babble talk. I mean, really. How do I make a distinction between that and some sort of creationism? How do I make a distinction between that and some sort of escapism? How do I make a distinction between that and every other cliche pile of crap the human race piles on top of itself to pretend it's something that it isn't? I don't think I can do that, because it wouldn't be logical, because that's what you're doing. Anyway, enough of that. So anyway, Pyrrho is impossible. Alright, so back to the hard problem of explaining why there is an actual consciousness. Alright, so the first argument I could make using Fred's metaphor, which I have used before, is when an engine is running, it's doing things. It's vibrating, it's shaking, it's shimmying. It's doing its work thing, and when it does its work thing, it doesn't do it perfectly, so it vibrates. Now that vibration, if it was a function, could be recorded. A little switch could go on and off, on and off, on and off, and it's recording the vibration. The vibration, let's see, could have some other implication. I don't know, makes the tire pressure go in and out or something. It's transferred, but that's just a transfer, so we won't count that. But the other thing that's happening in the atmosphere that the engine must run in is that it creates sound through that vibration. Not even through the vibration, through the explosions create matter, actual atoms that move faster than the speed of sound, and they create little tiny sonic booms, and those little sonic booms add up, and it creates something that arrives at our ears as sound. And that sound is a symptom. It's not a function of the device in any way. It doesn't do anything. The engine doesn't really want to be making sound. It doesn't make the engine perform better. It's nothing. It's a symptom of the function. And so the fact is that we have the function of a positive and negative motivator inside of us. Our brain has a programming that's positive and a program that's negative, a little cushion, a little button inside of our brain that is pressed by our brain and gives us these good and bad feelings. Now, the programming could be just registering the button presses. And this sensation thing could just be a friggin' symptom. Now, it's not a symptom that nature's going to get rid of in some way because it doesn't care. It doesn't have a positive or negative impact. It doesn't matter to the evolution in any way that we actually feel the pain. So it's quite irrelevant, or actually feel the pleasure, that we actually have a sensation tied to these button pressing. Nature doesn't care if there's some symptom of that ends up being real for these victims of this button pressing, game playing bullshit for a DNA molecule to replicate. Again, nobody wants to stay with the context of the story, right? Let's just keep pretending it's some other story. It's not the fucking 7 billion pig story. No, it's a little fairy story about the human race and singularity and planets and black energy and blah 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 blah. Fuck you people and this bullshit. I just keep fighting the same battle over and over. Let's get back to the truth. Let's get back to the frickin' story here, okay? Consumption, reproduction, cannibalism, addiction. Do something with those words once in a while. Fuck. Alright. So anyway. Get behind a little think. Alright. You think about it for a second. Let's see. Now, how are we going to explain this hard problem of a sensation? Yeah, well, it's a programming device. Look, everything's a little bit weird in the world. The screen I'm looking at now is kind of complicated, and it creates this flat image, but it's three-dimensionally. It has a substance to it. I know what it's made out of mechanically. It's just made out of bits and parts and little lights and chemicals and silicone and whatnot. Just blippity blippity. It's little bits of electricity is all I'm really saying. Little sparks, in a sense. Little emissions from a diode. But when you put it together, it seems like substance. Well, when you put us together, when you put this thing together, this machine, it has this function. It turns on. This electricity moves inside of it, and this is what it creates. There really is going to be no way I can explain to you the mechanics. We just haven't dug that deep into the brain. I could argue to you, though, that there's billions and billions of neurons inside of your head I could pluck out one by one, and you wouldn't notice the difference. I mean, you wouldn't remember that you're not remembering the memories I took out of you. But that's what I'd be extracting. Little bits of memory, little bits of stuff. And it wouldn't change the feeling of your consciousness. Because your consciousness is deeper. Okay? Way, way deeper. It's right at the core of your brain. It's where that first thing said, ouch. That's when the brain started to grow and build. It's because it had something to build on. It built on the idea that it can create a positive and a negative. It can create a motivating feeling. And it can throw that in front of itself and say, react to this, idiot. All right, I've used this analogy before, but I'm going to use it again. The real advantage of this style of programming where you have this feedback loop, where the computer sees its result, okay, the first result, which is a feeling, and then it reacts to the feeling as it's imposed on the screen. So I could be looking at this screen as my vision. The brain says, I detect Tyrannosaurus possibility behind that tree over there. So I'm going to throw onto the screen red, going for blood, Tyrannosaurus. And the red on the screen is now going to come back into my brain. I'm going to react to the red because I know red's associated with Tyrannosaurus cutting your head off and the blood squirts out. And now I'm going to see the scene differently. I'm going to see it with a cautious, Tyrannosaurus cut heads off awareness. And now I might see the Tyrannosaurus behind the tree. Okay, where before I only subconsciously had an indication of a possibility, now my brain's going to look for it. It's going to focus for it because I've taken and thrown emotion of concern and worry in here. And that makes you sharper. That makes your brain say, focus. That's how it functions. That's the reaction it has. So it's constantly doing this. With every single experiential moment you have, your brain is coloring your experience with emotion, with a feeling, with a texture, with a, I'm anxious, I'm mad as hell, and I'm going to punch Fred in the nipple. Yeah. I mean, this is how we live. We live constantly emoting on our own emotions, emoting on our own visual perceptions, on our memories, on all of this stuff, and we then react to the synthetic reality our brain just created on top of what we thought was reality. And so now reality is completely colored by our passion of the moment. And that cycle, when it's let loose, turns into things like hysterical fear or insane horniness, or some, because it just feeds on itself. Once it just starts. Hey, hey, your eye. Whoa! It gets bigger and bigger, and the thing you're after you get hungrier and hungrier, and this is how it works. It's a feedback engine. And if you were to synthetically make one, it's doable. Certainly in the sense that you can create computers that are more than one program. And again, we're doing more than one function. You can't just say, I'm going to create a synthetic intelligence, and what it's going to do is just mimic what people do on the outside. No, you have to mimic what people are doing on the inside. And what they're doing on the inside is exaggerating, distorting, perverting, and reprogramming all the time. Constantly feedback loops, constant rewriting of the game. Rewriting of the filter. The stuff comes in, it goes through a thing called a filter. Your brain filters it and reacts to it reflexively. And as it's doing that, it's also rewriting the filter. Some of the reactions cause the filter itself to be rewritten. So now the next time the very same thing happens, the reaction will be different. Alright? Now that's how you have to do it. You can't do it trying to mimic this. I'm a human being. I'm doing human-y stuff. No, you can't mimic that. You have to mimic what's going on in the friggin' neurology. The brain. Where we are, where we exist, that creates the phenomenon of us. Okay? I think I'm getting there with you people. I think I'm getting there. I can feel it. Right? My brain is feedbacking in and saying, all right, Gary, that analogy was pretty rock solid. A little humor in there. There's no way their retarded cement friggin' neurology can't get the simple, subtle point. All right? That what we're doing inside of here, in this gray matter, isn't this. There isn't some guy inside of me going, blah, 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 blah. No. There's mechanical parts, all right, that work with each other, that reflexively react to each other, and dent each other, and change each other, and modify each other with each and every single moment of energy coming in. You are altered in subtle ways, and sometimes something will happen that'll alter you in a huge way. Because like one concept, one collection of words will now take all the connections you have to those 5 or 10 words and completely annihilate them. Because this sentence says it so much better than all that jibber jabber that existed before. And so it'll just kind of clean, it'll just wipe out a ton of digital space and make it so much simpler, make the reflex will be so much cleaner now. As soon as you see anything that looks like Tyrannosaurus, you can label it because you've seen it before. You know it has 2 legs, a big giant penis, a big ugly face, little beady friggin' eyes. You'll recognize it, and that's what your brain does. Modern mystics said that it's a recognition engine. All right, it creates a model, associates things, connects them, runs the model. That's what we're doing, and we're doing it because of evolution. Evolution provides an arena, and this is a tool in the arena. This is a sword or a shield or whatever, ball slicing foot tongs, whatever you want to call it. It's a tool. It's a weapon in the arena that comes in handy. That's going to be conducive to you winning your little battles, is having this brain that can do the modeling thing, this brain that's highly motivated because it keeps flooding you with this push-buttony bullshit of pain, carrot stick, take away some pain, give him some more pain, take away some pain, give him some more pain, take away some pain, give him some more pain. That's what it's doing. Alright, so the hard problem is a BS problem, because it's a question we don't need to answer. It's like asking, where's the universe's anus? Where is it? I mean, there's just no point in asking that question. It's irrelevant, really, to anything we need to know, to anything called useful information. We know where we came from. We know why we are conscious. So yeah, once you know the why, the how doesn't really make a difference. It's irrelevant. Okay? Irrelevant. Really irrelevant. Really, really irrelevant. I mean, yes, we can sit around and say, well, wouldn't it be nice to know? Well, yes, it would be nice, but you're not going to know. Just as you're not going to know the origins of the universe, and you're not going to see the bullet that kills you, or something like that. I think that's, I don't know if it's proven or not. You're not going to hear the bullet. That's right. That hits you in the brain and kills you. And ends your conscious experience on planet Earth. Forever. And ever. Minus the fact that you probably left behind some moron who's going to basically just do the same bullshit you did for absolutely no good reason. Because you had no good reason. Because you couldn't reason the simple truth that your brain is who you are. Okay. Yeah, so I don't know where this goes. I mean, like I said, people can worry about this if they want to. I don't think it's something I'm going to worry about. I'm really not going to sit there and try to figure out exactly how 3 organs interact and create the illusion of a attractive or repulsive sensation. And again, I'm going to argue that the only real sensation that exists is repulsion. It's just the negative sensation. The negative. And all your body does is keep you at a constant state of 50% negative, and then just let you have some of that back once in a while. And you think, oh, that feels good. Well, know why it feels good. Every time you feel good, know why you feel good? It's because you're relieved of worry and tension and frustration and cognitive dissonance and any other kind of worry and stress and fear. Relief from these negative things are what makes you feel good. And if you could synthetically just say in this moment, I have no worries, everything's great, you can do a little bit of that yourself. You can do a little bit of that. Oh, just let it all go. Oh. You know, you can get a little taste of it. The problem is it's hard to synthetically get rid of tensions and get rid of the fact that your brain is aware that you have to pay the gas bill. And it's kind of aware that you're stuck on Earth, and it's kind of aware of a lot of things. And it's just much better at cutting the string. You know, it's much better at pulling the nails out than you are. It's really hard for you to pull all the nails out. For you, the program called I'm a Smartass. See, that we all have this program now. If you're kind of intelligent, you have a program called the Smartass, and the Smartass, you know, has this knowledge thing and thinks I'm going to control my psychology, and so yeah, it's running in there, and it has a few. It knows how to do a few things, little tricks, little games. I can pull the rug out from under that one, and I can manipulate that one, and I can poke that one and make him fall down. So yeah, it has some tricks it can play on your psychology in general. And then, you know, so when you're doing that, you call him you. That's me, okay? When I'm fucking with myself, oh, that's me. The thing getting fucked with, well, that's it. You know, that's my brain it's fucking with, right? That's not me anymore, because me's not doing the trip. Me is doing the trip, and me isn't doing the falling down. And that's the irony of it, is that you just moves around from smart ass to dumb ass to horny ass, you know, to fuck your mother ass in the ass, ooh, shove a banana in your ass. I mean, you got a lot of fucked up programs in there that do fucked up things, and at any one moment you're just gonna say, that's me, I gotta be me. And me is any asshole that shows up in the moment. It's first in line. But anyway, the point is, if you want to synthetically duplicate this, Piro, you don't do it with some program that mimics this. Alright? That is not a human being. It's more complicated than that. You need to create all the little personalities, and then you have to throw all those little programs into a room with each other and let them start fucking with each other's JavaScript. Alright? Then you'll have something called AI. But certainly built into it, into the bias, you have to have some kind of mechanism of, don't touch that, it hurts. Yeah. I believe I've accomplished my task. But just remember, people, okay, this is millions, hundreds of millions of years of evolution. That means like zillions of experiments, okay? Where the crap was put in, the thing was shaken up, and they saw if something stuck to it. Something else stuck to it. Something else stuck to it. And that's all you're doing. You're just taking a thing and seeing what you can stick to it. And over millions of years and zillions of experiments, you can get a lot of shit to stick. And that's what we are. That's it. And it's all stuck, basically, on this, for mammals anyway, on this idea of, ouch. That's it. Just a big pile of crap stuck on ouch. So quit fucking pretending you're part of the greatest story ever told. You're part of the dumbest, motherfucking, stupidest, wasteful, idiotic story in the universe. We are the stupidest, wastefulest, idioticest piece of the entire universe. We are the universe's asshole. There, I answered both questions in one video. Amazing. Amazing. The asshole is us.